my confident and generous Leo friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Leo, there is a soft ache beneath the surface this week, a tug-of-war between the parts of you that long for order and the currents that keep shifting what you thought you'd settled. It's the sensation of holding it together, while something inside knows that not everything fits as neatly as you'd like. Maybe you're carrying the weight of small decisions that have begun to feel larger than they should. Maybe you're navigating conversations where it feels as if you must be both anchor and sail, steadying yourself as well as those around you. There's a subtle fatigue that comes from keeping so many plates spinning, from holding your composure when the ground underneath keeps moving. You might not have spoken these feelings aloud. It's possible no one else knows just how much you're juggling. You sense, though, the fine line between being adaptable and feeling stretched. The tension isn't dramatic, but it's persistent, like background music that never quite fades. You can feel the pulse of change, even when you try to keep your days looking the same. There's a quiet longing for something to give, for a moment where you can breathe deeply and trust that all you're carrying won't tip from your hands. For now, you keep moving, aware of the undercurrent, waiting to see where it will lead. This week, the Two of Pentacles reflects that inner landscape. It's not about chaos, but about the artful, practiced way you keep everything in motion. There is grace in the way you manage your responsibilities, but also a subtle cost, a sense of restlessness that comes from rarely setting anything down. Others might see your confidence and assume you're unfazed, but you know the small sacrifices that go unseen. Each choice asks you to weigh priorities, energy given to work against time with friends, emotional investment in others balanced with your own need for space. The rhythm is familiar, yet it asks more of you now than it did before. At times, you may notice yourself holding your breath, waiting for the next thing to need your attention. Underneath, there's a longing for reassurance that you're not missing something important, that the things you've set aside in favor of more urgent matters will still be there when you return. You might feel a gentle frustration at the limits of your time, or a quiet pride in your ability to adapt. The unspoken tension is that you are being pulled in directions that don't always align, and the constant negotiation leaves little room for rest. Yet within all this, you haven't lost touch with your core. You are still searching for meaning and purpose in each task, still wanting what you do to matter. You are not adrift. You are balancing, improvising, responding to what life brings. It's tiring, yes, but it's also a testament to your resilience. There is a sense that something is about to shift, not because you force it, but because the balance you've maintained has taught you what you're truly capable of holding. The feeling of juggling these demands isn't isolated from the rest of your experience. The more you notice the toll it takes, the more you find yourself looking for a way forward, a path that doesn't require you to keep everything in the air at once. This inner balancing act starts to inform your decisions. You begin to sense that change is less about adding or subtracting tasks, and more about finding a new rhythm altogether. There's a quiet push toward movement, not for the sake of escape, but for relief. The desire to find a smoother current grows, and with it, the willingness to leave behind what no longer serves you, even if it's familiar. Your inner tension becomes the fuel for what comes next. As the week unfolds, the Six of Swords emerges, not as a dramatic turning point, but as a gentle pressure urging you to shift course. The pressures you feel may not be loud, but they build steadily. There is a sense of transition, as if you are crossing from one shore to another, carrying both the lessons and the burdens of what came before. Conversations might take on a more reflective quality. You could find yourself thinking about what you need to let go of, or noticing which routines have grown heavy with repetition. The friction isn't always external. Much of it comes from your own awareness that certain patterns aren't sustainable. You may be asked to adapt in real time, to respond to unexpected changes, or to navigate space between old commitments and emerging priorities. The momentum of this week feels like a slow boat gliding away from what has felt stagnant. It's not abrupt, but it's unmistakable. You're moving, even if only in small ways, an honest conversation, a decision to step back, a willingness to accept help. Each step is both a release and a risk, the kind that brings up old doubts even as it creates new possibilities. The friction lies in the uncertainty. You know you can't carry it all, but you may not yet know what you can safely set down. Yet with every moment you honor this movement, the load feels lighter. The old ways don't quite fit anymore. Something in you trusts that the discomfort of change is preferable to the exhaustion of staying put. There is no need to rush. The journey is underway and you are guiding it, even when the destination isn't clear. The potential for this week does not arise automatically. It asks to be met with awareness, with a willingness to notice what you're feeling and what's truly shifting. The invitation is quiet but persistent. The more honestly you engage with your own needs and limits, the more space you create for what wants to come alive. When you meet this moment consciously, the Four of Wands offers a glimpse of what could flourish. This isn't the kind of celebration that comes from crossing a finish line. It's the quiet warmth of finding yourself at ease in your own life, even if just for a moment. There is an invitation to recognize the progress you've made, not by the number of tasks completed, but by the way you have honored your limits and trusted your own timing. Growth here is not about striving harder, but about allowing the relief that comes when you stop holding everything alone. You may notice small moments of connection, laughter with a friend, a shared meal, a pause at the end of the day when you realize you've made it through. The potential this week is to let yourself feel at home in your own experience, to recognize that you have, in fact, crossed into new territory. The uncertainty and the juggling have not been for nothing. They have brought you to a place where you can exhale, if only briefly, and see that you are not just surviving, you are beginning to thrive. This sense of belonging, of being part of something larger than your responsibilities, is not a reward but a natural outgrowth of the way you've met your challenges. It's as if the landscape around you softens, the air grows lighter, and you realize you have permission to rest. The celebration is subtle, but it is real. In choosing to move forward, to let go where you can, you open space for joy to return. As all three cards weave together, the story of your week becomes one of gentle transformation. The tension of balancing many roles, Two of Pentacles, doesn't vanish, but it leads you to recognize what cannot be sustained. The slow, persistent movement away from old patterns, Six of Swords, is not a failure, but a mark of your willingness to grow. And the sense of arrival, of belonging that comes with the Four of Wands is not a distant hope but a lived experience, one you can touch, even if only for a heartbeat. There is reassurance here. You are not defined by how much you can carry. You are shaped by the way you respond to change, by your courage to release what weighs you down, by your openness to new rhythms. The path isn't always smooth. You will feel the friction of letting go, the uncertainty of not knowing what comes next. Yet through it all, you are learning to trust yourself more deeply. You are discovering that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity. That connection, even in small doses, is what allows you to feel at home. By the week's end, you may not have all the answers, but you will have honored your own journey. And in that, there is peace. Actionable insights for Leo this week. Let yourself pause for a few quiet minutes, just to notice what you're carrying. Try giving yourself permission to set aside one small thing, even if only for today. Welcome a moment of shared laughter or warmth and see how it feels to let your guard down just a little. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am allowed to rest and reset. I am learning what truly matters to me. I am moving forward even when the way is new. I am enough just as I am right now. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.